but there's a lot of men that have kind of jumped on this bandwagon around entrepreneurship and this idea that you should get to the end of your life and just have given every last breath. And it's like, and I legitimately thought, and people still talk about it. There's like, still like Tom Bailey, Gary Vee will talk, and people say it all the time still. It's not like full awareness on this, that, you know, I believe that when I get to the end of my life, I'm going to walk up and meet the man that I could have become. And it's like, I'm sorry, that's just fucking ridiculous, because then people are striving, like they believe that they need to give every single ounce of energy towards achieving more, when the 5 main regrets that have been like clearly documented by someone that's seen thousands of people on their deathbed is that, number one, you're living a life that others expect of you, not what's authentic to you, which is innately what these guys are doing. Like, I need to get to the end of my life because I want to appease these like thought leaders that I look up to and stuff like that. Or my dad told me I need to achieve more. It's not like, if you had one day left on the earth, you wouldn't be like hustling harder, you know, or a week or a year. It's just, as soon as you're confronted with death, it would change a lot. And then the next one's like working too hard. And another one, the 5 main regrets, is fear of expressing yourself and saying what you really feel. Another one is not catching up with friends enough. Another one is not giving yourself permission to be happy. And all successful men will have all of those regrets if they don't wake up, all of them. And they will still probably have the other regret as well, that they didn't give their last breath, because it's impossible. Like the standards, it's a drug that never gets, actually, you never get enough of it. So it's like, you would still get to the end of your life and there'd be a dude there that he might be slightly more built or slightly more successful. And you're going to be like, man, I was close, but I didn't get there. And so it's like, it's such a losing battle where that self-worth is attached to the imaginary outcome of some status or level of success. And that's what I see with dudes. And so they're so trapped by that, so trapped. Yeah. Abuse themselves, like physically, emotionally, spiritually, with their health in their relationships. And then that gets projected onto their close relationships. And this is my reality a couple of years ago, or 3 years ago. I said to my now ex-partner, Danny, like, I would never holiday without working for more than 3 days ever. No, that was my truth. And she was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I'm like, no, it's just my truth. Sorry. And we ended up breaking up temporarily at that stage, because in my head, that was just true. And she was like, well, I'm not down for that. And I'm like, that's good, because I need to find a woman that is down for that. And it's just so messed up. But that was my truth at that stage. So that's like the main thing that I see with men. And it shackles them because that's innately insecure. So they're not really confident. So if they can drop that shit, they'll actually succeed more, because if you think of like a tradie that's just slaving off every single fucking day, builds like $1 million business or a 500K business, just like boom, boom, boom. And he works 20 years to get to that point. If he took a year off and just got creative, he could make calls and grow the business so much faster with so much more intelligence, just by hiring, like you said, you hired a GM. It's because you know what you want to do and you know what you don't want to do. You know what your genius zone is. Most these dudes don't know. They just do everything because they're so controlling and so scared that they're going to lose what their whole life is dependent upon, that they can't leave it. They can't just fully surrender control. And that's what's going to enable things to grow really quickly. Like Jeff Bezos in Amazon, they've got 750,000 employees. I mean, if he had that same script at that same level, I mean, he'd struggle, because you can't fucking control 750,000 people.
Because it's all wrapped up in the identity stuff. Even when I had my GM, I for about 3 days, because I'd just come off the back of a launch, I had to because I'd been the one, even though I had, a marketing chick and a virtual assistant, I was still the flag in the ground, the holder of making sure shit happened. I had my pulse on. Cool. Is the email done? The launches, the this, the this, the this. And now I had to actually go through for 3 days, I kind of grieved that identity. I went through physical pain, because I was like, I actually have to let go now. I have to I've hired her so that I can just be in my genius now. And it's like, okay, cool. I trust. So I get the grieving process. It would be so good if everybody just had a year off. Like even you, me, I look at even my partner. You don't even listen to this. But I'm just like, so he's in that same, you know, he's a crusader as well. He's so in the mind and trapped in that identity. And it's like, if everyone just had a year off and just killed or like tried business another way, I think they would just.
Yeah, that's such an on point. Like that's so on point, because even a week off by yourself without doing anything will bring so much up. And I did that. I had a week off in Bali, and I just, after 3 days, I just started crying. It was just a wedding. I realized I'd never given myself real permission to experience joy. And that took 3 days of doing nothing. I had no idea that was going to come up. I was thinking, this is the most boring holiday ever. Like, why did I get prescribed this piece of homework from a coach? And then it just all started coming up, because when we're busy, we don't create space for things to come up, and we like just keep stuffing down. And then as soon as space is created, things just come up for you to work through. So even a week or a month would be huge for people, and whatever because not everyone's got the same crap to work through, but whatever does need to be worked through will come up. That's a on point suggestion. Yeah. And I think also, because I did that to a certain degree, like I was just doing meditation courses and like maybe working 10 hours a month for at least a year. Just had this little business, and then I was and then transitioning back in when it felt right to business, being in the arena brought a lot up as well. So I feel like there's the two extremes. There's like complete space, and you kind of like monk in the woods, and you're not in the arena, so you don't really get triggered based on reality. And then there's, I'm just working so hard and so often, and even working, like, because for a man, going home and being a good partner is also kind of like part of a job. It's like a to-do list. It's a checklist. I want to be good here. I want to be good at work. I want to be good with my health. So everything is so so adrenaline based. So yeah, having some time off is such an on point.